Oh, hi there. I'm Sarah J. Ruthless, and welcome to another episode of Drunk Bible Stories. Now, the book we will be defiling today is Ezekiel. So, I think it's safe to say that Ezekiel was probably tripping balls. He had to have been just absolutely zoinked out of his mind. He, found a fuzzy little mushroom and was like, cute, I'm gonna eat this, and then ate it, and then the book of Ezekiel happened. I don't really have any proof, except for, everything in the whole book. Wine might have been a bad idea for this one. To set the scene, we are in ancient Israel, and the Babylonians have taken over. They are very specific about the beginning of this book. It is April 5th. That is Ezekiel's 30th birthday, which is the day that he would have become a rabbi had he still been in Israel. But he's out wandering in the desert with all the other refugees, and he's like, I'm straight up not having a good time, bro. But then our baby Zeke has a little vision from the Lord, allegedly. This motherfucker is just hanging out by the riverbank, and he sees a whirlwind come about him, and then 4 creatures appear before him. Okay, each creature has the body of a man, the feet of a baby cow, and then each of them have 4 faces. The face of a man, lion, eagle, and then the face of a bull. And they each have 4 wings, and all of the wings are touching each other. They're in a little cute circle formation, and then they're also each standing on a giant wheel, and then each of the wheels are filled with hundreds and hundreds of eyeballs. What the fuck? And then on top of their head is a cloud. And above the cloud is a giant throne. And on the throne, there is a really, really shiny man. He's all gold and sparkly, and he just has a little loincloth on. Basically, I'm just picturing Rocky. I'm gonna need to get a lot of body glitter. Zeke falls to his fucking face and he's like, holy fucking shit, you're fucking God. Yes, I am, honey. Now open your mouth. Okay, and God puts a teeny tiny little scroll inside of his mouth, and written on both sides of the scroll are just tons of emo poetry. And Ezekiel eats it and he's like, that's weird, it kind of tasted like honey. It did, because my suffering that I'm gonna outpour onto the nations is gonna be really emo, but it's also gonna be really sweet like honey. Yeah, sure, that sounds right. That makes sense. And what's gonna happen is that anytime I feel like killing somebody, I'm gonna tell you, and if you don't tell them, it will be all your fault. Yeah, for sure. Doesn't sound convoluted or abusive at all. Okay, so I'm not totes sure where Ezekiel ends up. I think Ezekiel's hanging out in the middle of the refugee camp where all the other Israelite guys are, and he has just been called by God to enter his street performer era. And his first skit is to take a clump of clay and then basically make a mini model of Israel out of it and pretend that there's a siege happening and a battle. And then to take an iron pan and place it between him and the little Play-Doh village he just created. Okay. God tells Ezekiel to lay down in the public square on the left side of his body. It doesn't say the town square, but it indicates that he has to do this in a place where everyone can see him. So I'm assuming it's the town square. For as many days as the house of Israel betrayed him and worshiped other gods, which amounts to 390 days. Then when he's done with that, he just flips over a little rotisserie chicken and lays on his right side for 40 days to represent the 40 years that Judea betrayed him. And if you're wondering what he ate and drank during this period, no, you're fucking not. Ezekiel is only allowed to drink 1 jar of water a day and 1 jar of bread, which is composed of barley, beans, lentils, millet, and grain. Fun fact, if you've ever been in like a health food store and you've seen a loaf of bread called Ezekiel bread, this is literally why. They think that's a fucking recipe from the fucking Bible. However, the recipe stops there. Yeah, so you'll like have your jar of water, you'll have your jar of bread, and you'll cook your bread with a little fire that you will make out of cow shit. Yeah, for sure. Wait, I'm sorry, fucking what? Yeah, just like cook the bread on cow shit. No thank you? Fine, if you're gonna be a whiny little baby about it, I guess you can cook the bread over your own shit instead. So yeah, that happens for, let's see, 390 and 40. You can do this, Sarah. Concentrate. It's 10, which makes it 400, and then it's 30. So there's 430 days. Good job, me. That was some great math. That's over a year. That's over a year of eating shit bread because God told you to. Then basically God just like bitches and moans a whole lot. Like, the end is nigh. The time is coming. And I'm just like, is it though? Like, is it though? Because you're still talking about it. Don't worry, it gets even worse. God tells Zeke to give himself a haircut and then divide the hair into 3 piles. And the first pile, sprinkle over the little Play-Doh city that he made. And then the second pile, puts on his sword and scatters to the wind. And then the third pile, he burns in the fire. Get it? It's a metaphor because 1/3 of the people are gonna die by the sword and another third's gonna burn on fire. And the last third is gonna remain in the city, but it's gonna suck balls. Gnarly, bro. And all of this is because God's jealous that they're worshiping other gods? Like, bro, why are you so obsessed with yourself? So then some time passes. Ezekiel is done with his like Marina Abramovic performance in the streets era. And now he is back at home, just like meditating when he has a vision from God. And in his vision, shiny, sparkly God boy shows up and takes him on like a cute little walk about the city. And he drags him to the current temple in Jerusalem. You won't even fucking believe the fucking debauchery these assholes are up to in my temple. And I'm sitting here thinking like, oh my God, this is gonna be so hot. We're gonna like get a fun little orgy scene. Incorrect. They are worshiping false gods and eating unclean animals. So like not so much an orgy as it is a bunch of dudes sitting around eating hot dogs and ham sandwiches, just like occasionally nodding at cute little statues of cows. Seems like a bit of an overreaction, but what do I know? I'm just a dirty little heathen. Okay, so now we're like in the temple and he sees 5 sexy hitmen that just like come out of nowhere into the temple area. And they each have a mass weapon of destruction. And then the 6th guy is dressed all in linen in his like summer sexiest, good for her. And he has a horn of an animal filled with ink. And his job is to like go run through the whole city and just like boop everyone on the forehead who's like being a little bit naughty. And he's basically marking them all for execution. It's like a fucking fire sale, just like 50% off, everything must go. And then the executioners go through the city and they're just like, you know what we gotta do? We gotta fucking execution all of you. Boop, boop, boop. So like the whole city dies. But in his head, because remember, Ezekiel's still, this is all like a dream. Oh my God. And at some point, Zeke kind of falls down crying and is like, shiny, sexy God bitch, you're not like really gonna kill everyone though, are you? You dumb bitch. Of course I am. And then we get a visit from the mean girls, the ones with the 4 faces each. And then shiny, sexy God bitch tells the hot one in the linen outfit, hey bitch, grab a handful of coals, which is conveniently located in the middle of their intersecting eyeball-covered unicycles, and then take all those coals and scatter them around the city because we are gonna burn this place down, honey. Oh my fucking God. Okay, so we're literally only on chapter 10. But don't worry, it gets like super redundant from this point on. The next like 20-ish chapters are all just God making increasingly more ludicrous metaphors about what Israel basically has done to him. Oh, it gets weird. Girl, Israel is so shitty. They're like the vine from like a vineyard that was supposed to make me really good wine, but then it didn't make me good wine, and now I have to throw it into the fire. And Ezekiel's like, girl, I know, it fucking sucks. No, wait, it's like a vine that was planted by a seed from like an eagle, and then the eagle planted the seed, and then it turned into a vine, and then a different eagle came along and just like ruined the vine. Ugh, fucking eagle. Okay, well, that one's like a bit more abstract. And then God is like, no, you know what Jerusalem's like? Jerusalem is like a fucking baby covered in blood that I found in a field. And then I like cleaned her up, and I just like let her run around all wild and free. And then I realized that she was like going through puberty, and I was like, wow, I don't want anyone else to look at your hot little boobies coming in. I'm gonna give you some clothes, but only because I don't want anyone else looking at you. I want you all for myself. And then when she was old enough to get married, I just like married the shit out of her. And then I bought her amazing outfits. And then as soon as she like got what she wanted from me, she like went around and just like became the world's biggest hoe. Can you fucking believe it? And I hate it. Look, the grossest part of all of that is how little I am paraphrasing it. And this is Ezekiel chapter 16 for anyone looking to fact check. I dare you to do a better job.
However, the one small silver lining to this whole cringy incel moment God is having is that it gives us perhaps the best, worst Bible verse in the entire Old Testament, made infamous by resident satirists Trystan and Sayge.
Tell me this was written by a man without telling me this was written by a man. And then God just goes on to like, he's just gonna burn this city down, and he's gonna burn that city down. These people are gonna eat their own children. These people are gonna just like shit their pants. These people are gonna suck my dick, blah, 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 etc. Destroyed forever. Blah, 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 blah. That's like a rough translation, but again, not that far off. Bro, she just wasn't that into you. Okay, and then finally we get to chapter 37, which is where shit gets real interesting. It's gotta be my last one. It won't be though. Chapter 37, he has a fucking vision, and God takes him to the middle of like a valley situation. Zeke, do you know what's all up in this shit? And Zeke is like, no, I don't. It's a metric fuck ton of dry bones. Okay, cool. Now what? Bitch, you need to make them alive again. Fucking what? Dude, are you my fucking prophet or what? Oh, okay. Be alive, you dumb bones. Then like all of these skeletons just like poltergeist themselves out of the ground, and then they're like growing sinews and tendons and muscles, and God is like, okay, this is great and all, but wouldn't it be better if they were actually alive? Oh my God, yes, I was literally thinking the same thing, but I didn't want to say it because you like seemed really excited about it. I'll just like breathe life into them, I guess. He blows real hard, and then they all come alive. And then there's like a whole fucking zombie army. And then we just get a real swipe new scene situation. Years and years later, no idea what happened to zombie army. Are they still there? Are they waiting for Zeke to come back? Unclear. No one knows. It's a mystery. And he has one last little vision. And this one, I have to imagine, was inspired heavily by eating too many gummies while watching HGTV. We've all been there, girl. No shade. And this time he ends up like on the top of the mountain. Shiny, sparkly god bitch is there. And this time he has a really, really long ruler in his hand. Oh my God. Hi, I've been waiting for you, you dumb bitch. I have so many things to tell you. And then he basically spends the final 8 chapters telling Ezekiel in excruciating detail how he wants his temple built. Okay, over here is gonna be like some more cubits for like sacrifices and burning shit to me, because you know I love burning shit. I have some palm trees over here, and then over here, are you paying attention? It sounded like you weren't paying attention. And then over here, I don't know, you'll figure it out, but don't fuck it up or I'll hate you forever. La la la. And then the last chapter is like the will and testament of Ezekiel, which is ludicrous because he has, as far as I know, absolutely zero authority to assign land to anybody. And it's like somewhat evenly divided, I think. I don't know. I'm pretty drunk and I don't care. In conclusion, this whole thing is a hot mess from beginning to end. Homeboy cooked a jar of bread over flaming piles of his own shit. I'm not a doctor, but I can say with pretty confident certainty that that's like not good for you. Again, the fact that anyone thinks this is like the inerrant, God-breathed word of God, God's breath stinks. I'm Sarah J. Ruthless. Do drugs responsibly. And by responsibly, I mean, don't write a book about it. No one wants to read it, okay? You know what I mean? I love you, but shut the fuck up. Zeke. Eel.